Hi, I'm Frank Levinson, and we're in Tiburon, California. This house I purchased in 2005, and it had been here since 1971, so it was time for a major remodel, which we did. We essentially lifted the house even off the foundation, replaced the foundation, and then replaced everything but a few 2x4s. So the house was effectively new at that time. And we wanted it to be as bold a statement in sustainable living as we could. So let's go take a tour and we'll show you as many things about that as we can. My PhD is in astronomy, and so when I built this house, I wanted to have it be as forward-looking in technology as possible. There's actually two separate homes here. One's a 2-bedroom apartment with 2 baths, and the other's a 3-bedroom home where my wife and I live. That means we have 2 separate solar arrays, 2 separate power meters, 2 separate power walls, so that the place operates independently. The house, as you can see, is situated on the San Francisco Bay with beautiful views and decks throughout. In fact, it's got very good acoustics even. We hold house concerts here periodically, 3 or 4 a year, and it's a fun place where everybody likes to come. So come on in and let me give you a tour. Welcome to my living room. It's a great room where we have both the kitchen, the living room, and dining room, as you can see. And of course, all the glass, so we can look out and see all of the nature that's around us. All of these are double paned with argon in the middle, so nicely insulated. More importantly, the house could be quite hot in the summer, but it's not. We used passive solar principles to both make the house warmer in winter, but cooler in the summer. To do this, there's an eave out here that extends out, the roof extends out over our deck. And in the summer, when the sun is high, the deck is shaded and the house is shaded. But in the winter, as the sun goes closer to the horizon, the sunlight pours in and heats this room up. If you look up, there's track lighting in here, and all of it uses LEDs. Originally, when this was built, LED lighting was just coming out, and the MR16 was not really available yet as a footprint. The room with 20 of these things had 50-watt incandescent lights in it for basically 1 kilowatt every time we lit up this room. Today, with 5-watt LEDs, it's less than 1/10 of that power. We've embraced a lot of energy-saving principles as well as energy-generating principles throughout the house. Let's go look at the apartment. Welcome to the apartment. I wanted to show you, this is the thermostat for the apartment. Right now we have it off because no one's staying here. It's a way of saving energy, of course. The apartment produced more energy because of the solar that we've allocated to it than it uses throughout the year. So this is a net energy positive, even though we charge the car off of the apartment circuits as well. The house is heated by 3 separate heat pump systems, all ducted moving air. Here's one of the vents for that, and the reason we chose to do the 3 separate systems is to be able to control the energy usage. So one is for the great room, which you've seen before, and then one is for the apartment, which we've just visited, and then the last is the master bedroom and my office. Many times in the winter, the sun is quite bright. It's still sunny here in California, and the passive solar allows us by late morning for the house to fully warm up even passively. Normally, tours of my house don't include the bathroom, but welcome to our bathroom, where we have electric shades like we have throughout the house, but it's visible here to both control the energy and light input, but also low-flow shower heads and water fixtures that are representative of what's throughout the house. This is the software that tracks the solar PV for the house. It's showing you a whole year's production for 2022. As you can see, it's minimal in December and January when the sun time is the shortest, and it maximizes itself in the summer months, May, June, and July. There's a day from the sunrise in the morning to the sunset in the evening. I'm going to try to show you how we've also monitored the water use at our house and made it much more effective. This is my water bill from 2021, and really it represents all the years before that. We have cisterns and we have a drip system, but neither were working properly. And it was really challenging to try to get it to work. In 2023, while we were trying to have the system repaired, the people doing it left 2 things open by accident for just 2 days, and we blew through more water than we would in 3 or 4 years in a 2-day period. That's this large blue spike here. But we were able to get it fixed, and now, because of what we have installed on the house, monitors the house continuously. The system is now fully monitored, and if anything happens like that disaster a year or 2 ago, the house shuts itself off from water until we fix it. This is our EV, and this is the charging station that we had put in. It's a little different than the normal Teslas. It's a mount that we had designed here. It's a little easier to use. So while the solar PV is on the roof, let's go first see where the equipment does that matches it to the grid and does our battery storage. These are our electric power meters for the house and the apartment, and they're read automatically. They're not. No one comes down here and reads anymore. They're all read by radio waves and over the network. Then there's shutoffs to keep people protected if there was ever a fire here. Then there's the inverters for the house. And down here is the inverter for the apartment. And then there's the power walls for the house and the power walls for the apartment. And with that, we can live off-grid pretty much. So these systems are networked in a way that they can participate in what's called a virtual power plant. What that means is if there are 10,000 of these systems around in this area or Northern California, they can take them all and make them work simultaneously together on a very challenging day when the power starts going down from the sun. All these power walls, not just these here at this house, but 10,000 from all of our neighbors in Northern California can all turn around and feed power back to the grid and act as one system, which is about the same size as a real power plant. And as such, we get paid for that power when we ship it back. And we get, in those moments specifically, we get paid way more than the normal cost of a kilowatt hour. When these participate in a virtual power plant, it's up to $2 per kilowatt hour. Many times these houses will have large swimming pools, which are difficult in terms of energy to heat. This is a treadmill swimming pool, so I can still swim 100 yards, a mile, whatever is up. It's much less cost to heat because it's well insulated, and the same thing is true for the hot tub. We found it was very difficult to do drip on a very steep hillside, too much back pressure. So instead we installed a watering robot called Otto, and it's worked terrific for us. It goes back and forth. You can program it for even a complex area like we have down below. It knows the terrain and it knows where to reach each of these things. And it waters all of the hillsides that you see, and these are all full with drought-tolerant plants. The house is located on a very steep hill where the elevation changes probably by more than 100 feet. The house has a rainwater collection system that ends up in cisterns down below, which we'll see. These gutters are tied into that system, so they come from up here and down. We'll trace them down as we go down the stairs to see it all. These are the rainwater collection cisterns, and they take their water from the gutters that you saw coming down. This is a clear pipe that shows me the level of the water, and at the end of our season, the cisterns now are down to about here, whereas in May they were completely full. So we're draining them down, and they'll finish the season with still some water left in them before the rains start up again. Thanks for coming with me on this sustainability tour of my house. I hope some things that we've learned that we've tried now to share with you will be helpful for you as well.